No.
Clip it.
But speaking of college, man, what this NIL stuff? Y'all feel like that's ruining college sports?
Get
Pay the
paid, young.
players.
Get
Pay the
paid,
players.
young nigga.
Like I
These are players
said,
that deserve to be paid for real.
this is all the doing of the NCAA, of not getting ahead of the curve years ago, decades ago, back when Reggie Bush was lacing up with USC. Like, they tried to label these athletes as amateurs for so long to steer them away from making money off their likeness and all these other things. We've seen players get suspended for signing autographs, memorabilia for money. I think this is just the reparations. It's biting the NCAA in the ass. It's biting schools in the ass because now we got players. They're understanding how much their signature may cost. They're understanding how much their jerseys actually make teams in the jersey store and stuff like that. They're understanding how much a school making, I don't know, close to $1 billion. I could be wrong. I know the NCAA is making $1 billion off football, but I don't know how much schools are. But players are understanding that, like, without me, there is no college football, so run me my bread. I'm all for that. Do I think that there needs to be a salary cap? Absolutely. But I don't think NIL is ruining college football. It's just once it gets under control in terms of coaches or GMs now understanding how much they could actually pay a player and putting a cap on it, I think everybody would be all right.
Nah, forget that cap, man. I ain't going with that. I think
Yeah,
these
no
young
cap.
athletes deserve to get paid, man. I think this is the real world, bro. When you step out on that field, when you're playing football, at a moment your life could change like that. I mean, we all play sports before. We seen nasty injuries. I think just getting that NIL money, man, that's like negotiating when you get a job offer. You know, man, you gotta negotiate your worth. And if you feel like you worth these millions, you feel like you worth so much big cash, it's only right that the school pay you out. Because like Aaron was saying, man, that's your name up in the bleachers. Them people came here chanting your name, so it's only right that you get that revenue in return when you got the school that you're going to profiting off you making $300 million, $200 million, and that's like top earners in the SEC alone. Like I think it's only right to give these kids a little bit of the change that's getting broke off. You got multi-million-dollar stadiums, the locker rooms, the facilities. These kids don't deserve a little bit of that, man. Like, let's be real. Some of these schools got better stadiums, better locker rooms than NFL teams. Like, that tells you a lot about how much money is being brought in, how much revenue is being brought in. So I think they 100% deserve it. Also, too, we get to benefit from NIL, man. We get NCAA back. You know, we get our game back that we all love and enjoy, and I think it's pretty dope, man. And also, the biggest thing is you get to help your family out, shit, overnight. You sign that NIL deal, man. You change your whole family's trajectory just like that. Is there some things that need to be worked out with the coaches' pay? Hell yeah, but that needs to be handled by the school, the AD, whoever it needs to be handled by, so they can balance it all out. But and I keep it going, man. Keep making your money. I ain't mad at it.
I think going from like the average Joe, I'm not talking about the archmans. I'm talking about that player that's fourth and fifth on the depth chart. You still getting a little cheese. And I think we all know, some of us know that, the college schedule is tough, bro. Your day starts at 7, it don't end till 9. And you need that extra hour to study on film. That's 10. And then you gotta wake up and redo it again. Where do I have time to go get a 9 to 5?
Or
I
take
seen play
classes.
or take classes. You know what I'm saying? I had teammates, that they was doing risk. Making risk, doing crazy shit just to earn a dollar. You know what I'm saying? So I just think the NIL helping people out a lot more than what it's not ruining. You know what I'm saying? It makes it manageable. It makes a player actually able to focus on the sport and work on his craft. And I don't gotta worry about making money outside of practice. You know what I'm saying? I'm taken care of. I get my little sniping every month. So I think it's not. I don't think it's ruining the sport. I think it actually is gonna make the sport better. And like I said, it's gonna make players be able to focus and get their and get their game right.
I agree, man. I think if you just think about the average college student alone, they're broke. That age is a tough age anyway. It's hard to get jobs, it's hard to make money, and they're just going through a lot. How many times have we heard stories about players just struggling to eat, struggling to help their parents out, So it's time for it. Why these big organizations, these big schools are making billions off these guys' name. They been need to pay these players, honestly. So long overdue, man. For
I
real.
had teammates getting kicked off the team from stealing from Walmart. You know what I'm saying? For just food too. It was just food. Like it was wicked before the NIL.
Jameis was stealing crab legs, man.
Stealing crab legs, man.
He,
Goddamn.
I would say this. I think with the question is NIL ruining college sports, I'm actually going to say yes, right? Not because the players are getting paid, mainly because NCAA don't want to take an initiative to control it, to know what it looks like, right? Aaron, you said, hopefully NCAA put a salary cap. Like, I agree on that standpoint as well. But since they don't have a salary cap, I think it's ruining a lot of things. Not only do I think a big part of NIL is ruining college sport, mainly because it's part of the recruiting piece, not because they're receiving money. Now, a little bit could be like players are feeling entitled to a certain amount of dollars, like you haven't even played a snap yet. Stop it, right? But when you got the recruiting piece and you have the transfer portal, I think that's a big piece of the transfer portal, right? Because every year could be free agency for you at that standpoint. What's the difference between the pros and college? Pros actually got a salary cap. Pros actually said, okay, this is the max amount that we can spend for the entire team. So if we pay high for a quarterback, we gonna have to live with scraps elsewhere, right? So I think it is ruining college sports. I love that these guys are getting paid. I hate the fact that, sometimes recruits, not sometimes, most times, damn near all the times, recruits are going to get more money than the people that actually put on for the program and, made a lot of plays. But it should be some type of incentive type deal of like based off of maybe not based off of stats, but maybe based off of stats. So if you are a starter, you get this much or it's something like that. But get your money, but it's not the student's fault. It's the system, right? It's the NCAA. It's the people that didn't want nothing to do with it. Now it's going all out of control, and now they're kind of scrambling around. And this is kind of besides the point, but I don't think the NCAA is going to last long either. I think college football is going to kind of go, elsewhere with their stuff with the CFP and maybe basketball. But I think there's going to be some mega conferences going on, and the NCAA, they kind of hanging on the limb right now.
Man, I just don't get it, man. I was just doing research on viewership, and viewership is up. Sports is the entertainment business. How's things going left? What's wrong with how's NIL ruining anything? More people are watching, more people are entertained.
Let's get the coach's perspective on it. It was just in the middle of it last year.
I've seen, I'm not going to say no to the question, is it ruining college football? I'm also not going to say yes. It is part of the problem. I think you have to throw in the transfer portal as well. I think that's a greater problem than NIL. And the NIL portion has more so turned into recruits and players looking at schools, and instead of looking at schools and saying, what can you do for me or where can you get me? It's more so, what can you give me? And I think the purpose of people choosing to go to schools isn't as pure as it used to be. People used to go to schools like Notre Dame, Michigan, USC for the tradition of those schools, for the coaches who were at those schools, for the people who came before them at those schools. That's gone. That's dead. That is no longer a thing. NIL has changed that aspect of college football. Now, I also do believe in, yes, I love, people getting paid their worth. Absolutely. I've coached at the lower levels of college football, the group of 5, FCS levels. There is some NIL involved, but those guys still aren't getting real money like the SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC guys are. There's a collective, and guys are getting a little bit of money each week, each month, but it's not comparative. So everybody kind of has this picture of all college football players making all this money. That's not the case, so there's so many different ways to look at it. But the main thing really is the player's mindset as they're going to these schools is not for the school itself, for the prestige of the school, for what the school can do for them. It's really just, what can I get out of this for myself? I think that's kind of where it's turned to, and I don't like that at all. I think that's the wrong way to approach any situation in life, whether you're a kid or an adult. So that part of it has kind of drug it down. And then the transfer portal, to me, is the greater problem, way more than NIL. And that could be a whole show in and of itself. But to answer the question, it is part of the problem. It is not the problem in college sports.
Do you think it's ruining the sport?
I don't think it's ruining the sport. No, I don't. But like I said, just working in it, it takes the joy out of it a little bit, because you're no longer the kids you're coaching, that they're not playing football strictly for the love of the game or the love of where they're at. There's so many outside factors, and it just makes the job that much more challenging. And then a lot of coaches, you coach football because you love the game, and it's something you're very passionate about. So it challenges that belief within you, and that just makes it so hard to do the job now, which is why I'm sitting here with you guys.